Hello and welcome back. We just wrapped up game 2 where Dignitas, they had the true Elder Dragon on the Rift in Insanity. They push us to a game 3,
Calling
guys.
it old?
I mean, any quick reactions off the back of that one? It was a bloody game. Dig came out on top.
Wagon diff!
Wagon diff. Did you just call Insanity old?
No, I said he was the true Elder Dragon, man. He was breathing fire all over FlyQuest like it was no one's business, man.
Sounds like he's calling him old to me. We'll see what David has to say about that.
Now, how dare you?
Well, we'll see. Dignitas is one win away from maybe getting a chance to talk to David, but we're going to have to earn that one. As, you know, the real prize of the next game, definitely being able to interview me and not you two. So, you know, moving on. We do have, you know, I figured since I was going to be on the desk, you know, some people, for whatever reason, I really don't know why, they associate me with hot takes. So I figured I'd throw a few at you from some of our, I guess, casters, but also we got a player in there as well. So you guys ready?
Oh,
you guys got the spice?
A player hot take. Okay.
Yeah, we did. Honestly, I don't know which one's up first, so we're just going to fire away and get right into it. I'm going to read whatever I see on the screen. Oh, look, it's a player. IMT Chad. UG will stop XU into the ground. That was his hot take for this series. Guys, what do you think?
I mean, the first game, UG had an incredible Lee Sin game. And even in this game, too, UG still looked really strong on the Lee Sin. I think the second game was much more of a product of his backliners getting caught out or just getting completely owned in and focused down.
Yeah, I definitely feel as though, maybe not as strong words, but I definitely feel as though UG has outperformed XU pretty much this entire series so far.
Yeah.
But I also know that this is a Chad take, so I'm glad that you were able to get that one in. I know it is a common sentiment amongst other junglers that whenever they hear say anything nice about XU, they just go, ugh, this guy again. And Chad is definitely leading the charge.
I know. Chad's in the all my homies pray for XU's downfall club. Like, there's like there's a band of that, and then there's another band who's like, yeah, XU's cool. I like working with XU. Yeah.
Well, we got more hot takes. This one going to be from the caster crew that we have on the other stream, Path LCS, where just an update. IMT Challengers have advanced and knocked out FlyFam, who will now be in the promotion relegation tournament. In case you guys aren't catching that, you can catch other games on twitch.tv/PathLCS. But here we go, Mad Magical. FlyC are the real #1 team in the league. That is spicy. What do you guys think?
That's a hot one, right? Like, I definitely agree that FlyQuest Challengers are underseeded based on how they've been performing the last couple of weeks compared to the early parts of the season.
Number one, though.
Number one, I mean, Cloud9 still exists.
Yeah. You know, we know that Dignitas was a #2 seed coming into this tournament, but like Cloud9 looks like the real raid boss of this.
It's the classic question. You're in a race. You overtake the team that's in second. What place are you?
Second.
All right, well, I think Seon's also cut above the rest. That hot take, though, also a little bit too spicy for us. Cut above. We do have more. Next one coming up, I believe it's going to be from Kangas. FlyC wins. DIGC faces AoE and loses to Gamsu playoff buff. We get Diamond on the finals weekend broadcast.
Now, this is just like Kangas praying for Diamond's downfall, but praying for his...
A lot of praying today.
But broadcast, like, a debut again.
Diamond is definitely one of the funniest players and one of the most knowledgeable players to talk to. I absolutely love having him on the broadcast. But if it means that he has to lose to both FlyQuest and AoE, I don't know if his ego could take it.
Yeah.
I don't think they're losing AoE. I will say AoE, they did call out FlyQuest in the interview yesterday.
Oh, so did Diamond.
Skytech. Yeah, so that's definitely one to look out for. Also, I do have to say, none of these takes are nearly as hot as the screenshots I'm getting of the all chats that Diamond is actually sending in the pregame lobbies versus FlyQuest. That's the real spice, I will say. But we're gonna keep those to ourselves here. As
you can't just, you're the worst. You're like, ooh, look at this secret that I have, and I'm not allowed to tell you.
It all the time.
This is what I get for being here while you guys are in that room.
The worst PR I've ever seen.
Yes, it is. One more hot take. We got it from Beatdown. Beatdown, what do you got? FlyC are better in all roles except Marksman for this matchup.
Except Marksman?
Wait, I think it should be the reverse, or you should like have a caveat somewhere different. That's
wow.
And he's saying against Dignitas.
Wow.
I don't know. Maybe he meant against 100 Thieves. I don't know. That's
I don't know.
I don't know. I think Hoon is better than Philip, or has been playing better this year.
Yeah.
I think Yuji's probably better than XU. Insanity, Spyrex, it really depends on the day. I think they can both have like really good games.
Depends on if
like
Insanity
both, but I'll take
is
it. I'll take
recovering from a
Insanity.
caffeine withdrawal or something.
Yeah, I feel like Masu is definitely still better than Spawn. And then Winsome Diamond, I actually do think Diamond's better.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think it's, to say every single role except AD carry is kind of like a, I don't know, beatdown. Maybe you should lay off some of the flaming swag.
I would say if Tomo was still in this roster, then, like, yeah, maybe you could argue Tomo is better than Masu. But just the clutchness of Masu versus, Spawn recovering his confidence after being in LCS it's been more Masu favored.
All right, so we don't like that take. I got it. Beat down. Get to work. You're going to have to learn from the master of the hot takes. But, guys, it's time for the master
make sure you
to
tweet
give
at
away
Dom
the
when
mic
you
to
do
you
it.
guys. Yeah, I mean, I stand by the Prince Ruler one. Anyway, we gotta get to game 3 here. Winner moves on in the upper bracket, secures that top 5, top 6 finish, and has the right to play for top 4 in a best of 5. Loser moves on to the lower bracket. Guys, take it away.
Thanks, Cubby.
How come you don't do it to him, but you do it to me every time?
I don't know. Maybe it's because you are the wife's boyfriend and he's trying to shade you.
What? Wait, you know what I'm talking about, right?
No.
Take it away.
Oh.
You do it every time I say it, or you just go like,
Yeah. I mean,
a
it's...
little bit of a cackle. But we're getting into this one. FlyQuest Challengers now on the blue side for the first time this series. They've been on red both Game 1 and Game 2, and they are continuing to ban away the Ashe from Diamond, which has been one of his best champions so far. But honestly, I feel as though Game 1 was FlyQuest Challengers to lose, and Dignitas did a great job at coming back and picking up the bag that FlyQuest Challengers did drop. And so as we go into this last one, I mean, FlyQuest Challengers have had better early games twice so far.
Yeah.
Can they do it a third time?
I think it comes down to if the bot lane is heavily set up for Dignitas, I think all the times that UG has been involved, we already talked about it before, UG has been outpacing XU in a lot of the early games. I wonder if the Lee Sin priority is going to be a lot stronger for Dignitas this time around. No way. That's
No, I mean, they've been hovering that a lot. Like, both sides have been. I feel like there must be, like, some kind of signaling back and forth, but I am kind of shocked that Sejuani is the first pick here. Lee Sin is still available. UG has had 2 fantastic games in it already. Sejuani, not really a massive takeaway. Like, it has an okay matchup into the Cho'Gath in the top lane, but this is also the first time we're going to be seeing Zaire Khan today on the Challengers League stream. And going over to Masu and Winsome, this is a lot of early game priority, a lot of early game threat coming in towards the blue side of the map. And do it.
That would be sick.
That would be good.
Now,
Boring.
now the Trundle lock-in
take
early means that you could still flex the Sejuani topside, and then you could get something much more
Yeah, you
advantageous.
just flex the Trundle top side and go,
I mean, if Hoon's willing to do that, I'm also down for
Yeah.
the sauce. But with FlyQuest Challengers, I think you already hit on something for the bottom lane. You have a much more aggressive bot lane, and you're going to get the push shove as well. You need someone that is going to be tankier than a Rakan to make the dive happen, which is why I think already it's spelling for UG to take up the Sejuani. So he can go with the Aftershock, take up as much damage as he can with the turret shots, and that is where Dignitas have to be careful about that 3-wave crash.
Yeah. I also want to point out that the Annie has disappeared from the draft so far. Sandy had a bad game on it. Sparex had a bad game on it. Both handshake. No more Annie.
Sucks. Annie's overrated. At least for this series and the way they both have been playing it. Maybe someone else, is making it work.
You can play Annie really well, but I think it's very clear it's the kind of champion that you do need to put some work into, right? The way that you play Annie is so different than a lot of other mid laners, and neither of them have really showcased a lot of success on the champ. But going into the actual draft, once again, it is XU on the Lee Sin for the first time this series, and definitely something that we have seen a ton from XU in the past. And it's had mixed success, right? It's definitely a champion where you have to be very proactive about a lot of these plays. And so far, Dignitas, well, they have been, as a team, very proactive. They haven't necessarily actually been engaging a lot of the fights. They've been standing in good places and daring FlyQuest to actually go for some of the engagers. And they've been doing a fantastic job at that.
That's right. LeBlanc and Talia also being taken off the table means that Dignitas' mid lane champion pool is being slimmed down, but they're not going for the Aurelion Soul quite yet. Locking in Hoon's Cassante, ensuring that Insanity does get his counter pick of choice.
Yeah. I'm curious to see what it is that Insanity will actually be bringing out. The Aurelion Sol was the answer last game after the Annie was already previously picked. And so we need to see what it is that Philip is going to play, what it is that Spyrex is going to play. It's going to be another Scion coming out for Philip, going right on back to a tank. Probably his best tank, I'd say, historically. But the Cho'Gath is still available, and that was... I mean, you can still play it in the mid lane, but with the Cassante already coming through, it was like, this is where Scion initially came up. It was the counter pick to the Cassante. And a blind Vigar.
Yeah. I mean, if you locked Cho'Gath mid, I feel like you would be lacking on magic damage. And then Philip just gets to itemize pure straight armor.
Yeah.
For Dignitas, I imagine that Insanity has to go with a control mage or something that is going to output a lot of magic damage later the game goes on. Can't go for the burst options as Talia and LeBlanc. I mean, Space Wagon is still cool.
Space Wagon.
But Cassidy would have been spiced to be like, oh, you thought we had late game scaling? You know, we're going to have someone that's not only scaling, but also has insane mobility to keep up with something. I mean, it's a direct counter to Vigar because you can always rift walk over that cage. But Dragon, still pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought you were saying that Aurelion Sol could go over the cage. I was like, what? There's no way.
The Cassidy.
Yeah, coming back on in with the Aurelion Sol, it does give them a lot of the magic damage that they really needed, but it's a bit of an odd composition coming through from Dignitas. You have these two very, very focused on scaling elements in the Aurelion Sol and the Aphelios, but the Lee Sin and the Cassante are so much more focused early on in the game, whereas FlyQuest, they're like, hey, we're going to play front to back, we're going to hit you with Vigar, we're going to make sure everybody that tries to jump in is going to have a really tough time getting over the Vigar cage, and then anybody who gets over that, we still have the Blade Caller to really shut down any of the divers. And so Exu and Hoon, they're going to have to be really inventive with the flanks that they go for. They're going to have to be very aggressively trying to cut out individual members, separate them from the rest of the flock, and then, like wolves, devour them on the side.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the games where even if you are someone who puts in a lot of games on the Lee Sin, you can't always be looking... Wait, what?
Dude turns 31 and loses all his senses. Yeah, I thought we were saying Insanity was old. I guess that makes Beatdown ancient. Believe it or not, he's actually one of the oldest people on the cast, or on the broadcast.
Yeah, I mean, that's technically true.
Alex and Eric are older.
Are they really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's
where you give them the cringe L ratio.
Yeah.
Move on. Anyway.
As we were saying, this is one of the games where Exio and the Lee Sin, especially in the late game team fights, it is much more difficult to successfully get off kick flash plays and looking for the backline to propel them in. Your job this game is just to keep frontliners away from your backline.
Yeah. And it's definitely something that Philip in particular has gotten a little bit better at over time, right? Because we have been seeing that historically, almost exclusively that carry player, but now going into the newer season, has been looking for more of these opportunities to try and be that tank, because it has been a spot where he has such a powerful backline to play around. But as we start looking at this game and how it will actually unfold, both junglers, once again, starting on the bottom half of the map, Exu doing the Wolves. What does that mean to you, Mark?
I mean, he wants to lean towards the top side of the map. But, I mean, a wolf start means that it's a lot easier, especially when you start with Tempest, which he goes for. And so he's actually able to clear out these AoE camps a lot more quickly before he then moves on to red buff. And then I guess he can... I don't know if you really want to necessarily play around topside unless you want to set up an early dive, or you can loop around from red buff, go to mid lane, and then swing back the way, look for a gank mid, try to catch Spyrex, make your way towards the bottom side of the map.
And already we're starting to see a lot of trading from both sides of the map, right? As Philip gets another Grasp. Brock does benefit more from the changes to Grasp than the Cassante does, but still, it is both junglers coming towards the top half of the map. Yuji will have the red buff to play with and can be a little bit more aggressive in some of these fights than we were previously imagining, but neither going to be looking for any of these early ganks, which is a little bit surprising to me, considering that's been how Yuji's oftentimes been finding his advantages. He does get spotted here.
Insanity's going to have to flash, but now... Okay, thankfully for Insanity, Yuji did not want to commit his own flash Arctic Assault for the play, but now that is a Space Wagon without flash. Exu has finished his red buff, making his way towards the top side to protect Hoon.
Yeah. And Yuji coming up. Both junglers are here. Yuji's going to get spotted first.
They have the advantage of the counter gank, and they catch Philip by surprise. Exu's gonna flash in, the Arctic Assault interrupts him, but they still get the damage. Then a Tofo strikes from Hoon, cleans it up, but Exu now has to keep distance. Oh, but great third Q! It forces Yuji to flash forward so he can claim the kill. Hoon's gonna use his
Arctic
own
Assault.
flash. Yuji, waiting on one last cooldown, goes for it. Another auto attack, but Hoon trades it back, and all right, everyone is dead. A fiesta on the top side of the map.
2 kills for Hoon, 2 kills for Yuji, and at the end of it, Philip teleports back up towards the top lane. And his wave will be kind of frozen here. Ultimately, he'll be able to recover some of the losses, only getting assists compared to the kills from Hoon. But we'll take another look at this one. I thought for sure that Dignitas were going to be in a fantastic spot after this fight, because when Exu comes in, he gets the damage down, but he takes a long time to throw out the Q, eventually killing Philip, but being so far forward, it allows Philip to come around, and the late stun coming out from Yuji allows him to catch up. And with Hoon coming through with the knockback, that was looking like it was going to be it again. Instead, we got to pay our attention. Bot lane, Diamond goes for the flash play.
Nice flash play. But Winsome, grand entrance before battle dancing backwards. So it's only an exchange of flash from Masu, where Spawn and Diamond both use 2 sums.
It's 2 sums. And again, Exu a little bit slow on the Sonic Waves, trying to go for some of these big fights. It is definitely a spot where it feels as though the aggression, some of the confidence, not as prominent as it has been in previous seasons for Exu.
Now, I love the enthusiasm from Mazel. Unfortunately,
Copy is not in this game.
Copy is not in this game. I think he meant Spyrex.
Let's hope so.
Let's hope so. Mazel's probably going like, damn it, I should not have sent the tweet.
No.
I need the edit.
Undo, undo.
Undo.
I mean, he was staying up late. He had to cast, you know, a different region last night, so you
True.
can give him a little bit of a freedom there. But overall, still, this game still starting off with a wild, everybody dying up in the top half of the map. All the buffs gone off the map, and now Yuji once again looking for a gank bottom lane.
Oh, but nice dark passage from Diamond. Gets Spawn out alive, not dodging or dodging out on the grand entrance. Dignitas this early game. Once again, because they have the Aurelion Soul and the Aphelios, it doesn't necessarily need to be accelerated. But FlyQuest, they're the ones with the onus on them. They go for the double knock of Grand Entrance. It gets Spawn's flashed out. Diamond throws out a death sentence, and it's a teleport from Insanity. And the rest of FlyQuest are now on the retreat. Sky's Descent or Falling Star. Insanity just gets 1 knockup down, but no further damage to follow up.
Yeah, Yuji's giving up a lot of camps in order to try and make these bot lane plays happen. And once again, nothing coming out of that. Still just the 2 kills, and Exu is going to be taking away a couple more of these camps. Remember, on 13-5, you get a lot more from these counter jugglings, and Yuji's going again.
A repeat gank. I mean, Yuji is sacrificing a lot of his own resources, but he knows the success is not on his own.
Oh, Masu!
Down to Masu! Oh, he eventually goes down. The last minion auto attack. Spawn's able to trade 1 back. Overall advantage goes to FlyQuest, as this bot lane is getting so much love and attention from Yuji.
Yeah, Yuji is saying, you guys absolutely need to be ahead in this game. Otherwise, it's going to be a big problem for us later. Look at the difference in the jungle. 28 CS, 7 camps. The difference between both of the junglers. Exu so far ahead of that. But Yuji, 3rd time's the charm, I guess. You got to come over and over and over. And the big thing here is I love the attention from Spawn, making sure that he goes for Masu as he's tanking up all of these minions. And then the last little cluster right there. Pew, pew, pew. Winnings, baby.
Unfortunately for Winsome, had to watch his partner die, but it's okay. Comes back from the respawn fountain. Dignitas do have the pressure to lay down the first dragon of the game in their control.
Uh-oh. The level difference here, too. Exu's level 6, Yuji's only 4.
And this is what happens. And now the catch-up experience has been nerfed as well. So for Exu, there's a little bit of advantage to putting so much time into farming these camps, while Yuji has just been trying to lay gank after gank after gank. And I'm sorry, not catch-up experience, but the kill experience gold that you get when ganking. And Exu, even though he doesn't get the red buff, he looks for the all-in onto Yuji, but Yuji still gets out alive.
Yeah, Exu spending so much time trying to take that away, but not going to be getting the red buff either. What a fascinating game, right? With so much attention being paid down here on the bottom side, it's finally paying off a little bit, but it's really only the kill difference coming through for FlyQuest, because it's been equalized there. And the CS is kind of taken over. It's only 1 kill, the difference between them. But on the other side of the map, Philip's doing a fantastic job as well. And hey, there it is. Fix it up. The tweet us, delete us.
Tweet us, delete us. We got
tweet us, repeat us.
That's right. The first tweet never existed. This was the original tweet from the draft. Good job, Mazel.
Good job, Mazel. We always knew that you could do it. But we are still looking at a spot where, again, FlyQuest, they've been doing a good job at coming out with these small leads early on in the game, but with how bloody this one has actually been, we will need to see whether or not that they can continue the success later. They do have some scaling elements to match the Aurelion Soul. The Viger is still a very good scaler in a different way, but hey, gank number 4 coming out from Yuji. Waiting to see if Dignitas is going to overextend.
Doesn't look like EUG is going to get anything paid off, but it does give the safety to Masu and Winsome to push in that
what
lane.
A psycho.
Yeah.
If you ever do this to me, I'd be like, Mark, go farm your camps.
I mean, that is definitely a case right now. I mean, to be fair, in previous patches, this type of play was rewarded all the time because you get so much experience from local kills, and after the nerfs, we're seeing a stark contrast in the advantage that Exio is getting while UG is putting so much attention and just waiting for something to happen on the bottom side.
Yeah. And we'll see if XU can make that effective. He has been level 6 for a little while, whereas Yuji's still trying to get that level 6 available to have the super powerful ults. Does have that, and guess what? I think we're getting ready for gank number 5 towards the bottom lane. Spyrax also leading down towards the bottom side of the map. And XU's onto it.
Yeah, walking through the fog of war. There's one ward in that river bush. XU is going to be waiting behind. But the question is, will they be prepared for a 4 versus 3? Brandon is 2, and the quickness charms them all up. Diamond is forced to flash backwards so he can use the dark passage. Nice flash from XU, dodging the glacial prison from Yuji. But that is multiple summoner spells burned by the side of Dignitas.
Yeah, this game is funny. Yuji very clearly has not been happy about whatever has been all chatting in the lobby from Diamond, because he is on something right now to make sure that he never gets to play the game. Diamond absolutely crying. It's like, I mean, on the other hand, have you heard what Diamond has said about Hoon previously? Yep. Oh, eat 7,000 calories before the game. Good job, Hoon.
Gotta make sure that he is well fed. And making sure that Hoon is playing to his best as well.
Yeah, meanwhile, Yuji and Philip is like, nah, you got that.
Yeah. Yuji, I think this is the first time we've really seen him on the top side of the map. I thought he had built his hotel and a nice, like, just setup over on the bottom side of the map. He was checking in, but first time now competing for the Rift Herald. Philip has first collapse.
Do they want it? That's the thing. I mean, the mid lane, they're still proud to play for it. XU coming around, can cut out Spyrax.
Cage is used already by Spyrax. Sonic Wave does not connect. Looks like they're just ceding control of the Rift Herald.
Yeah, all I can think about this game right now, Mark, is that meme of like the mom picking up like the one kid like while they're in the pool, and the other kid just like sitting in the front like ah. And that's kind of like Philip, right? Like just fighting up in the top side.
Unfortunately, I have no idea what meme you are.
Oh my god, I will pull it up at some point, but I guarantee people in Twitch chat know exactly what I'm talking about, because I mean, Philip, he's just been up here chilling up against Hoon. There's been no solo kills in this series outside of the one that happened in Game 1. And so that's actually been a really big bright spot here for Philip. And staying even in CS, I mean, honestly, as a counter pick to Cassante, you're not necessarily trying to beat him up early on. You're just trying to not be an issue.
Oh man! I don't think Spawn was anticipating just the all-in potential from Winsome and Masu, but they clipped him with the grand entrance.
Yeah.
The rest of the combo.
Yeah, and I think Winsome, I mean, good job waiting with the quickness as well. There's going to be a lot of money going over to Masu, a teleport coming out for Insanity, but it's still going to be 3 plates potentially going through?
I think so. That would be a lot of local gold. I don't know. I didn't see if Masu was able to collect any of the local plates from the crash.
Oh, he definitely did.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, he gets the one ball on his own, and then he gets effectively another one because he was splitting it with Yuji, who also got one, and now we're directly transitioning into this upcoming fight for the Dragon. Whoa!
Wait, Hoon has taken Philip on a wild ride, and he knows he's already used the ultimate, so he's forced to flash, but Hoon has a flash of his own. One more Notofo strike. Philip dodges the 3rd cast of the Q. Hoon doesn't have enough damage to take out Philip. He slips.
Wow, that was going to be the 28th solo kill. Yuji.
He He's fine. Oh, Insanity goes over the wall. Still has the skies descend. Both top laners are just going to look at each other menacingly as both of them get their recalls off.
Yeah, Hoon goes back for the play, but that's one of my favorite things about Cassandre, getting people over walls. Hoon so close, just a single Inthorpo strike, not actually landing, puts him in a spot where it doesn't actually get the kill. It does just get an extra wave, and so far, FlyQuest once again, I mean, UG's psychopathic play is starting to pay off, right? Constantly going down towards the bottom lane, completely ignoring farm. We take another look at this, and ultimately, Hoon does a really good job here making sure that he stays on top and recognizing that he needs to get the damage, ends up falling through, and this small dodge here from Philip is the big difference between actually getting the kill and dying. And if that lands 100%, there's another dodge there from Philip. Either of those land, Philip dies.
Yep.
Great stuff coming through from the rookie. I guess not rookie anymore. Sophomore.
You're just so proud of your boy.
I'm so proud of him. I said some curse stuff about him in the past, but we're going to refrain.
I mean, I think as someone that has followed his career so honestly and genuinely like you have, I think you're one of the few people who can speak candidly, not only about him, but also to his face as well about his performance.
Yeah. No, he's doing a lot better now. I'm really happy to see that. We've been seeing, this has been a very odd spring, I think, for a lot of our players, but we'll get kind of into that. And I think one of the players that has been really interesting to watch has been Insanity, right? We had super high expectations of Insanity coming in. And as somebody who I've also been paying attention to since their days on Team Liquid Academy, we were super proud of how he played during the summer 2022 Proving Grounds. We were even saying this like, hey, if this was an award that we would give out including the Proving Grounds performance, Insanity would be on that list for sure. But it was a regular season award, couldn't get them there. And then here, I mean, we were seeing the same kind of hotness coming out from this guy early on in the season, and it's only towards the last couple of weeks where I know he's gotten sick, but it has been a tougher time as they look for Hoon.
Hoon doesn't have flash from the all-in before, but he goes all out onto Winsome and tries to buy distance, but it's still not far away from Masu as he just whips the feathers. Oh, but the shield protects you! Does it actually save him? Winsome was looking for the final auto attack, maybe another Gleaming Quill, but Hoon makes it out alive, and he has teleport to join the fray again, but there's a big cage in the middle. Diamond is locked down. Spyrex looking for it, but he flashes backwards. The Moonlight Vigil from Spawn as he's chunking Yuji out. That's another flash from the jungler, and Spawn and Dignitas, the rest of them are fighting FlyQuest in both attempts.
Yeah, where's the ult from Spyrex, though? That kills Diamond every time. Just a small missed opportunity there from FlyQuest. That should be a kill, but losing 2 flashes for nothing means that those won't be up for the upcoming Dragon. This is still a spot where Dignitas can really contest the fact that Spyrex will not have the flash. Yuji still a little bit under level compared to his opponent. And yes, he's got the Warmog, but that's going to be helping with all the chip that comes up beforehand. It doesn't really help a whole lot during the actual fight. And so, FlyQuest, it's going to be the big question. How do they play around this upcoming objective? They were so late. They were so focused on going for retakes in Game 2 to their detriment. And I wonder how they're going to try and play this one.
Yeah, Dignitas are getting set up for this third Dragon of the game. It is Hex Tech, so
very good.
There's always moments in the game where you have to take in consideration rotations off of portals. So anytime you're looking for a neutral objective off of respawn timers, like, okay, but portal gaming can happen, and that's always something that's super exciting the later the game goes.
Yeah. You know, when life gives you lemons, get angry. Man, just
that's
life's
not how it goes. It's you make lemonade.
You and I are thinking of very different things.
Oh.
Cave Johnson, baby.
Oh.
But here it is. FlyQuest going to try and make a play on the other side of the map. Just going.
Huge from Winsome, and Spawn does not get any time to react, even with the Dark Passage to bring him to safety. Diamond is also dead to rights as the Glacial Prison is finally used from Yuji. The Grand Entrance knocks him up. Masu with a double. The rest of Dignitas, I don't think they can do anything about it.
No, they can't do anything, but they will have a little bit of positioning around the upcoming Dragon, as this is a lot of time being spent by FlyQuest. But the difference in gold, 4 kills going over towards Masu. Beatdown was saying Spawn was better. Love you, Trevor.
I mean, that was probably the hottest take.
Yeah.
Just off of that alone. Even Mad Magical's FlyQuest being the #1 team was almost
pales in comparison.
Yeah, it's like a tame little bell pepper compared to the I think it's a ghost pepper
That's a very hot pepper.
Yep.
Yeah. But as we kind of get back into this one, it's already 2 items completed from Masu as we start looking towards the upcoming Dragon Mark. This is a big opportunity for FlyQuest. They are missing out on a couple of crucial summoner spells. Spyrex does not have Flash. They're looking for Diamond.
Masu, great side.
X's position.
Diamond. Oh, he looks for the kick into the skies. The send. Do they have the burst damage? Yes, they do. And Spawn Gale forces forward, getting revenge for the previous assassination. Winsome is now retrieving with the breath of light as he breathes down death into Winsome's back.
And a great flake from XU makes that play completely untenable for FlyQuest. They spent so many buttons. They spent so many ults on the top side. They couldn't make the pick work now. And Dignitas, they find themselves another dragon that buy more time for Insanity to continue scaling, and it might be another Dwagon diff now as Yuji coming in to try and defend the turret.
He's just going to clear out the minion wave for now, but Insanity is going to make short work of these minions. So the rest of Dignitas now take their leave. 2 dragons to the name, as you already called it. They are behind in gold still, mainly because of the massive amount of gold that was poured into Masu's pockets kill after kill, but Dignitas are starting to pay it back forward as the scaling is coming online.
And FlyQuest also first to punch around the Rift Trail, but here they think they have a great pick. It looks like a 4v2, but XU around the wall kicks both people, make sure they're there in the middle of the skies to send Spawn to the other side. FlyQuest, they try and make a play happen a little bit too fast. Well, they don't have any of their ultimates. They don't have the real engage and get punished for it. Dignitas, the experience shining through there. But a Rift Trail goes through for FlyQuest. They only have 1 outer turret left to take, and this should be going down towards the mid lane very shortly.
Get the crash open, FlyQuest. We have seen when they can control the map, and when they create those numbers advantages off of these picks, then the fights are a lot easier to play out.
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, FlyQuest have done a pretty good job of that. They've been preying on the fact that, who's the player that we were praising? Was it Meech that we always said was winning every reaction 50-50?
Yeah.
Every reaction test. Spawn has unfortunately not been doing so, and both Winsome and Yuji have been preying on that very effectively. But at the same time, now FlyQuest, they do have to make sure that they can get their second items onto a bunch of different players. Spyrex is getting very close to that Rabadons in favor, in exchange for the early Seraph, so will not have the shield, a little bit less tanky, but a lot more damage in response.
That's right. We're past 20 minutes into the game. Baron has spawned as well. Both of these teams recognize being 1-1 into the game. This is the upper bracket. I kind of want to get into the conversation of what happens to either of these teams if they are knocked into the lower bracket. Who do you take more as a team to still make that a decent run through that side?
I mean, I think both these teams are going to have a great time regardless of which one gets sent down to the lower bracket. They are both very strong teams, and it is a little bit surprising, right, that the number 7 is still going as close to number 2. The way that seeding works, right, is the number 2, without any upsets, will play against the number 15 and then the number 7 immediately after that in order to try and allow them to go deep in the tournament relatively easily. But FlyQuest, as we keep talking about, underseeded, and Dignitas still looking to try and prove that they are the second best team in the entire tournament. Whom, I mean, you see how aggressively he's going. He's just kind of like, I'm going to deprive Philip of all the mana by just fighting him over and over again. Look at Jack Show and all the work it's doing.
Constantly in combat means that Cassante, we haven't really seen this champion in recent weeks. It's been kind of shadowed by a lot of the tank picks and flavors in the Scion and the Cho'Gath, even some Malphite performances. And if it's not a tank, then it's usually just a carry straight up like Fiora.
Yep.
But we know how crazy this champion can be in late-stage games of the fights, and if he isolates someone like Masu or Spyrex, I mean, it's just lights out. Doesn't matter if Cassante's building full tank. He still destroys you.
Yeah, look at this. FlyQuest, they're just pulling the Baron. They don't have the priority on the map, really, and so Dignitas, and this is a really good read from FlyQuest saying, hey, where are the opponents? We're just going to start hitting this.
And Diamond knows that they don't have vision quite yet. Sky's Descent is going to give them Baron. Oh, that could have been close, but Yuji is able to smite it at 400 XP with Portal Gaming. XU right onto the cage! That is not what they wanted to get done! And now Hoon is teleporting, he's forced to flash! Numbers advantage for FlyQuest. Can they turn this one around? They're on the wrong side of the tracks. All out, isolates Philip, but he's forced to flash through the wall. He repositions and he's still alive. The rest of Dignitas have to run now. Is there a chance? Spawn, he has flash available, but he uses Gale Force to reposition. Hoon is over the wall, cannot really participate. Diamond with the death sentence hits Philip, but FlyQuest are still in great shape off of that Baron call.
Yeah, it looks like FlyQuest were thinking more about portals than Dignitas, where XU just goes directly to his death. And now, 40 seconds before the actual dragon spawns, again, it's only 2-1 in favor of Dignitas. But picking up the Baron, great read from FlyQuest saying, hey, we're pretty sure that multiple people have backed away. Hoon has reset, XU has reset. We're just going to start hitting this because there's no smite to actually contest it. They burn it up, Yuji doesn't miss it, and now that's a ton of gold. 4,500 already the advantage for FlyQuest. They are first to the punch around this dragon. And I don't know how Dignitas try and contest this one. They will get strong again when Insanity becomes the dominant force in the game. That's still a little ways away. Insanity does not have Sky's Descent currently, and this turret's going to fall because of it.
Yep.
There it is.
Huge mid prio being gained by FlyQuest as well. This is going to allow them for future dragon setups, as they're already in position for this current one, to push their vision line aggressively deeper into Dignitas' jungle. And it means it's a lot trickier for Dignitas to be able to face check. You don't have many members on your side if you don't have Hoon to do that safely.
Yeah, he's really the only safe face checker here, but he's too busy bashing up against Philip on the other side. And FlyQuest, I'm a little bit surprised they are not going for the dragon just quite yet, but they are trying to maximize their time on the map by picking up as many structures as they can, and by rotating back and forth. There's not enough wave clear yet coming out from the dragon, and FlyQuest, even with Yuji digging this up, the Warmong afterwards says, hey, I'm actually full HP. And as they go back towards the objective, doing a good job picking up as much money as they can. You got to feel for the top winners, though, right? Like, Philip is kind of like, well, I guess this guy's just going to wail on me for a while. And he was like, man, I keep hitting this guy. It's like the, oh, wait, it was actually the thing. Dignitas and FlyQuest were tweeting at each other.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, the SpongeBob. I'm going to kick your butt. When's it happening?
Yeah, nothing. It's
Squish.
Hoon and Philip are just constantly, wet noodle fighting all the time. And
like a sponge.
Yeah, and just absorbing it. And there's no real threat coming out from their exchange. But eventually, Hoon will be able to live out his fantasy of finding an all-out angle on Matsu or Spyrex in these next couple of fights, because that is the ideal situation for Dignitas, and it's one way you can do it. And now, there's a potential flank angle. Oh, XU! Warthog kick flash! Matsu is forced to use Featherstorm already, but he repositioned and he survived. Spawn looks for the Gale Force angle, but Matsu flashes backwards. He's still alive in this fight, and then Spawn has to depend on XU, but XU was fishing for a Sonic Wave on the Matsu. He's gonna ward off on the wall. Tempest crippling strike. It is Insanity that cleans up the last killing blow, and it was an awesome setup from XU, but FlyQuest bounced back so beautifully because Insanity is routed off here, Josh. Oh, that was well played by Masu to escape from that angle.
Honestly, the awareness with Masu immediately knowing where his escape route is was ridiculous. XU had such a great engage on that one, and it does not matter. FlyQuest still taking away another structure and very rapidly making this game look like it might be a 2-1 for FlyQuest. Dignitas social media team is going to have to work overtime on this one as XU tries to find his way back in.
Dignitas do not want to say die quite yet. Quick ward hop to dodge on the cage stun, but Hoon is encroaching onto FlyQuest.
As old.
There's a turret available for FlyQuest, so that the range of safety is fine. Do they still want to fight this? I mean, this seems dangerous now from the side of Dignitas, and XU finally realizes, okay guys, we can no longer fight. Everyone is coming back off of respawns.
Yeah, we got to be careful about that one, but still, I can't wait to see a replay. Hopefully, I want to see what Masu does because it was actually nuts. So much money invested in this guy, so much time, but first off, praise to XU for fighting this angle. Goes in on Yuji, ward hops behind Masu, kicks him into the team. But Masu with the instant ultimate to dodge away from so much, and then going up directly into Diamond, away from Spawn, away from XU. There's no people left to hit him over here, and even though Spawn tries to take him down, everybody very quickly realizes, we don't really care about this XU guy. Let's go make sure we can take care of the AD carry. It takes XU coming back into the fight on the other side to even take this guy down at all. So much invested to take down one player, and it ends up being a 3-for-1.
I mean, you even saw how great it was the beginning because XU didn't see Masu quite yet until the very last second cast of the Q. And it's like, okay, and it's not even a play that you can talk about, I'm fishing for something.
Gotta do it.
It's just like, look. But Masu, great positioning. Featherstorm, Gale Force dodges out on all of the follow-up from Dignitas. This is going to show with the way that FlyQuest are playing these fights, even when Dignitas are almost seemingly at their best. I mean, they outplayed the last fight. I wouldn't be surprised if they could do it again.
Yeah. So now FlyQuest looking for XU, UG's ultimate. It's out with the help of Diamond. And again, the 3 proteges of Diamond on the other side of the map doing a fantastic job trying to overcome former sensei, current senpai, I suppose, whatever you want to call it. Either way, Dignitas, they're trying to now contest with the second time the FlyQuest are hitting the Baron, but they are in position.
And look at where Winsome is. He's not even grouped up with the rest of the Baron pit. He's waiting for the flank. Now Winsome is going to make his approach. Okay, they try to burn him out, but the all-out brings Winsome away from the cage. Huge Moonlight Vigil onto multiple members. Masu is forced to use the Featherstorm. Gale forces his way towards the bottom left of the choke. Insanity is peppering Breath of Light over on the other side of the map, but he cannot attack the backline for now. They've already used this Falling Star as well for major damage, and they're pulling for their members of FlyQuest, but no one has gone down on either side. I imagine that both of the solo laners are going to look for recalls and teleports.
Yeah, both backlines too strong to actually let the front line deal with them, and we'll watch Spyrex teleport right back in, has transitioned over to Ghost.
Control Ward dropped into the Baron pit. They momentarily get vision. XU leaking around from the
XU has no kick.
FlyQuest, do they really want to take this 50-50? XU still has vision of it thanks to Sonic Wave. And it looks like FlyQuest are peeling off for now. Hoon catches the unstoppable onslaught from Philip so that none of his backline members get knocked up by Philip. XU is still on this flank looking for it, and FlyQuest have to group up together, make sure that Spyrex and Masu are protected. Dignitas are trying to slowly pull them out of the river.
Yuji's ult is the next big tool for FlyQuest here as Winsome gets executed.
That's the power of the Ace Soul late game, baby. The max percentage HP. XU kicks Masu right into the Falling Star, but he still has the flash, but the Shockwave still does enough damage, and Insanity.
Oh, Yuji!
Yuji with the Glacial Prison. Insanity goes golden. XU is taken on the back.
Yuji!
Firex explodes Insanity. The Space Wagon is gone. And Spawn, Diamond are the only members left alive. Hoon goes for the all-out onto Philip, tries to get his way out of there, then third and Topo Strike. He pops the Gargoyle Stone Plate, looks for the Dark Passage, he's out of there, but the cage catches him mid-flight. Spyrex looking for the damage, he gets him! FlyQuest managed to get the numbers advantage.
Oh my god, Yuji, the MVP of that fight, arguably the MVP of this entire series, playing so well. And Dignitas, they're not done, but where's Philip gonna TP to? Doesn't matter, the Baron's already gone. FlyQuest's gonna exit. They can get to the Dragon first. They're already hexgating their way over here. And as we take another look at this one, I mean, Winsome takes so much AoE damage. And watch just like the damage that goes through from Spawn. Almost snipes him out there as well. But the big thing, you gotta track what ultimates are up, what are on their way. And Insanity, his ultimate is not far away. Neither is Yuji's. Both teams waiting. It's like, yeah, we can fight as soon as these come up, but the execute from the black hole is big. And his execute, once again, trying to find this opportunity, kicks Masu back. But the big thing here is as Insanity starts using that extra flight to try and get onto Masu, Yuji's ultimate is there to stop him, take down Insanity. And once that damage is gone, Spawn is stuck hitting Philip. Spawn does not want to be hitting Philip. That is way too much tank to try and get his way through.
The fact that FlyQuest were so patient in waiting for Dignitas to make the collapse happen. XU waited for so long, but I have to say that I almost wonder if XU was a little impatient in revealing himself because he gave away that moment of surprise element, and once he showed himself, he was forced to make the kick early, and Dignitas couldn't sync up that combo.
I mean, there's been a ward in that tri-bush the entire time. They knew where he was all along, but as the ult goes wide from Yuji, just a slow push in, hook lands onto Yuji, and XU's going for another flank.
Falling Star doesn't do that much damage to the rest of the backline.
Watch Masu.
He really clean up here. Hoon is onto the backline, and the Topo Strike knocks up 2. Spyrex is gone. That's a huge damage carry. Diamond with the flash hook. It connects onto Yuji. They burn down the tank. Flays right back into Spawn's arms. And Dignitas, they're not going down in this series just yet. They are going to fight with every last breath that they have.
Where are you going, Philip? Running all the way back towards the base, but oh my gosh, 40 seconds left on multiple members of FlyQuest. Huge fight coming through from Dignitas as well. They cut Mazu out. They prevent him from being the damage source that he needs to be. And XU, oh, it's just such a small vision.
Oh, man. They don't get to see him. They don't get to cut him off, but it's just going to take the portal so he can still join up with the rest of the team. It's 5 members to 1.
Yeah, Mazu cannot die.
15 seconds left on the next FlyQuest members, and Dignitas are not going to risk it any further. They'll take the inhibitor guaranteed and set up for the remaining objectives.
Wow, big fight coming through from Dignitas. Even as FlyQuest are the ones still with 20 seconds left of the Baron buff, it is Dignitas who pick up the inner turret, the inhibitor turret, and the inhibitor itself. What a great series, man. I mean, FlyQuest, Dignitas just scrapping back and forth, and these fights are going for forever, Mark. These two teams pressing each other every single time. 1,300 extra HP from Philip.
This is giving Dignitas versus Team Liquid vibes from summer last year.
True.
During the upper bracket.
Yeah, I mean, that's when Insanity was playing like the LeBlanc. The team fights would go for like 40, 50 seconds.
Yeah, the Talia game.
Yeah, it was just taking forever. Now FlyQuest, they're grouping back up. They know exactly where XU was just a moment ago. FlyQuest, they need to be a little bit careful because thinking with portals, XU's found a couple of good moments to threaten Mazu. Even if they didn't kill him, you just need to prevent him from auto-attacking. That's just as good. And now the wave clear is becoming a massive problem from Insanity. He sits there, he breathes on the minions. He's already got these guys descend again. It gets easier and easier the later this game goes. They find Winsome.
Descend onto Winsome. It's not the 80 carry, but you'll still take that trade any day with how long the death timers are this late in the game.
Yeah, 40 seconds left onto Winsome, and that's going to mean that FlyQuest do have to back away. Insanity, once again, is it another Dwagon diff, Mark? Is it another time for Insanity, the veteran here, alongside Diamond, to carry the team in the late game? Caffeine is probably worn off at this point, I think.
He has definitely recovered. He is playing a lot better than he was in the first game. You know, we joked about how neither of these mid laners wanted the Annie. I mean, to give Spyrex credit, he's looked a lot better on the Vygar in both of his games today as well.
940 AP on Spyrex.
That's a lot of AP.
That's a lot. Hasn't even converted the, oh, he just sold the tier. What is this building into?
That Giant Spell, I mean, could be building like a tank item because he's capped on AP. So a lot of the times I've seen people talk about building something like Dead Man's Plate.
Yeah, for the zoom.
Yeah, it's just, make sure you don't auto-attack because all you're trying to do is just have the extra movement speed so you can noom around people.
Moon gets this, but that's the building the Dead Man's Plate. It's the Winged Moon play as they look for a potential engage.
Right, that's why I was like, I don't know what this is going to be then. Maybe a Warbox.
Yeah. God, that slow field is so huge at this point in the game. FlyQuest, like for an opportunity. Phillips, swing goes wide. They're trying to maintain positioning on the Dragon.
Gage is used early. Flash already used by Phillip. Forced out by a great hook and box combo from Diamond. And Dignitas, they're just fighting for mid lane priority. There is a trade possible here where if FlyQuest, if they go for the Dragon instead, maybe they just barrel down mid lane and try to end the game there. Who's not making any damage. Skies Descend doesn't really hit the back line, but it creates space, and there's still a super minion left here in the mid lane. FlyQuest are going to lose priority for the Dragon, and Dignitas can bully their way back into the pit.
Yeah, great stuff coming through from Dignitas, making sure that FlyQuest are going to have to go for a retake here, using the super minions to their advantage, but FlyQuest are like, yeah, that's great. We're going to go hit the Baron again. That'll be the 3rd Baron in this game for FlyQuest. All right, get the last hit. 1 HP left, but Dignitas are like, where'd they go? Do they have time to do this?
1,300. I mean, it seems like they're burning it down fast enough. I think it's at 4,000 in the Fog of War.
And it's gone. Yeah, and Dignitas don't have time to pressure anything. FlyQuest trying to back away. Philip, the one member.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Wait, Philip and Yuji are card out now. I mean, Philip might, it's going to take a while for Philip to go down. Yuji is going to take the right flank because he knows that XU is not going to be able to fight him anytime soon. He's going to keep him as long as he can on the Rift as Philip, even with the stone plate, does take a while to go down, but he eventually does go down. Numbers advantage, 1 Baron member off, and XU, don't take that Sonic Wave. I might have done it. Just like, hey guys, I got Sejuani. Oh, wait.
Oh.
Everyone's here. Everyone's here.
Yeah, catching your own strays at this point. And now FlyQuest, they're starting to push forward a little bit. They need to wait 40 seconds for Philip to get back onto the map before they can do anything. And look at that. It's taking up the entire lane at this point. Insanity's got so much Stardust, so much AP, so much stacking going on. 3 infinite scaling champions?
How much sexy? Oh my gosh, 656.
Yeah. And we've seen some crazy numbers from this champion, especially on like Twitter and TikTok and the like. But now Dignitas, so much power, and how far does he go now? Wow. He probably could have gone even farther.
Yeah.
See the star.
He could have easily just breathed down the blue buff while in motion.
Drive-by.
Yep.
Wow. I mean, again, so much. I feel as though Yuji, with kind of playing like a psychopath at the very beginning, actually played a lot of this game super, super well. But we have to give a lot of props to Dignitas for always finding all these different opportunities to try and attack their opponents. Winsome got caught out a couple of times. XU with some phenomenal kicks onto Masu, some great threat onto the backline. We said that they needed to be inventive, and they have. And allows Insanity and Spawn to just do their job. And now XU trying to find another one of these flags, and Hoon goes in.
And he's playing with Fog before, so they don't see him right now. So they're leaning over to the left side of the flight. But if XU finds Masu, if he finds the target, this will be great for Dignitas. Philip is forced to use the ultimate as a defensive measure just to retreat on the other side. There's a ward down there, but they don't know whose ward it is. So they have to retreat into the safety of Dignitas' own jungle.
As the back come through from Dignitas, I mean, the vision is becoming worse and worse across the board. His inventories are filling up. Masu leading the charge here. Insanity, he's got the Skies Ascend. This is going to do like 1,000 damage to everybody on the screen.
And he's already using the massive...
XU.
Huge. That is a big Skies Descent. XU on the massive flank. Masu is...
It's all about Masu. It's all about Masu.
XU, can you find... Vigil! 200 years from spawn! Massive damage! And Masu's super chunked. XU's just waiting. And now he's seen the Featherstorm. He looks for the kick.
Oh, he's dead!
But Masu outplays it! He waits for it, flashing behind it. The Blade Caller takes out XU before it gets a chance to kick. And Philip does go down to Dignitas. But Masu, in the heat of the battle, is able to outplay XU once again.
You're looking at Masu. I'm looking at a tag team of Insanity and Spawn coming through. The massive Skies Ascend and then Spawn. We haven't seen ultimates like that in what feels like a year at this point. Kills Winsome outright. So much damage. Yuji, Spyrex, Masu just have to book it, leaving Philip alone left to die again. We got a fight coming up around this next dragon as well. But, I mean, watch the damage that hits Masu. He's not even in the middle of this. That's 600 damage to him instantly. And then afterwards, it's really just lining up. Spawn has been relatively quiet this game, but as he runs forward, the Gale Force and the ultimate catching all 5 members here, as it's just boom. Winsome, half HP, dead.
And look at that, Masu healed right before the Moonlight Vigil went off because he knew from experience, like, this is going to do a lot of damage. But this moment right here.
Yeah, and instantly, the instant burst comes through. I think Spyrex also gets the, the W down as well. But honestly, kind of crazy how these teams are fighting. This is going to be a long one, folks. It could end at the drop of a hat, but could also end instantly as XU looking for yet another long flank. No flash available from Masu.
I don't know if XU realized he was spotted, though, because there was a control...
Where? Look at Winsome.
Wait, control ward is gone. Oh, but he repositioned the control ward, but XU is seen once again. So they're leaning away from the right side because he knows that that's where XU is going to be. FlyQuest trying to play off of the minion wave in the mid lane and just be safe, but it is also fighting for
Insanity?
Insanity, instant cleanse. I don't know if that was Diamond. The Mikhail's Crucible, Philip now getting caught out, using the stone plate preemptively, forced to flash away. Dignitas have control of the river, and Soul Point is on the line, but there's a mid. Masu dodges out on it with the Featherstorm, and he's still playing around with movement abilities, but no flash available. Dignitas approaching from the left side. XU looking for the flank, but Yuji is marking and preventing him, making sure that he cannot get to his backline. But there's still a mid-wave. There's still a mid-wave that the FlyQuest can play with, so Dignitas cannot pressure with the Dragon. They have to respond from the base.
Oh my gosh. I mean, Dignitas, they give up an inhibitor, but at this point of the game, who cares? It's the exact same thing that Dignitas did earlier with the extra pressure. There's a Baron in 30 seconds. There's a Dragon already spawned. Philip sticking around, relatively low HP. They find one.
Glacial Prison on Nahoon, but he's a tank, so he can tank the brute force of the burst damage there. FlyQuest. This game is nuts, Josh.
Oh.
They took a portal around. XU looking for one more flank. Dragon's Rage is available. He hasn't been spotted yet. Now he's been spotted, but FlyQuest, they are going to give up the Dragon. They're going to make the trade for Baron. That's Hextech Soul gone. I don't know if that trade is worth it.
That's big. I mean, FlyQuest are committing to winning off of this Baron push. They need to win this fight, and that is a ton of slows. And Sandy has the Skies Descend yet again. They're in the pit. Oh my god!
The Skies Descend! Massive knock-up onto Yuji, but he's a tank. They haven't hit the backline yet, but
Phil's dead.
Blown up. The massive damage from Insanity's Dragon. One tank member gone from FlyQuest. Hoon is trying to keep them all in track. He takes the Glacial Prison, but Dignitas, do they want to run down the mid lane? They can't, because they have to deal with super minions. They're trying to cancel recall.
Oh, they're stopped. He stopped.
This is on one. All FlyQuest. You cannot leave any member behind, because if one gets left behind, then the rest of the numbers advantage start crumbling. They have to all stand together as one, but Dignitas have the numbers advantage. 5 on 4. Dragon's Rage is available. XU is swept into the left bush again. He kicks right into the maximum execute. Masu forced to use the Gale Force on the right side. There's no peeling around him. Yuji's taken low. He's forced to flash. XU looks for another Sonic Wave. The execute from Insanity not to enough damage, but the Breath of Light is burning down Spirax on the right side.
He's healing. Oh, that's one.
Finds it. FlyQuest are getting another falling star. Dignitas send the heavens raining down onto FlyQuest, and they will not go quietly. They have made their mark. FlyQuest have been standing up to Dignitas all series long, but this is where Dignitas shine the greatest.
Dignitas yet again. Insanity getting 2 ults off over the course of a single fight. These fights are going for forever, and the range isn't there for FlyQuest. Dignitas looking to end the game. Still 30 seconds left, but their waves are so far back. I think we might get another one.
Making the most out of this push. FlyQuest still have Baron on one member. But that's it. It's only just the one. Whereas Dignitas, they've stuttered death timers. They staggered recalls from FlyQuest. They're going to take out another inhibitor with...
Oh, they got UJ!
They're just going to go for the end right here. They take out Philip. There's still death timers spawning in for Masu. Spirax is back up. Philip taking as much time as he can, but he goes down as well. There's no frontline members available. Dignitas now just need to wait on the next minion wave, and they can make this push. They can end the game off the next minion wave.
Oh, no!
Falling Star, Masu dodges out on it. The shockwave still hits Winsome, but Spirax dodges out on the damage as well. They're trying to hold the line as long as possible, Josh. 30 more seconds until Philip and Yuji spawn.
And even then, Mark, look at the damage. That was less than a second coming out from Insanity onto Masu. They're trying to circle them. It's like sharks in a cage, but their waves, they're so far back, they can't hit the structures. What is XU doing? He's going all the way around the Nexus!
Going all the way around. Masu still doesn't have flash available. They go for the assassination, but Masu had a GA. He's gonna spawn. He Gale Forces away. The damage for the Moonlight Fist.
They got him!
Almost Strike sends him out. Dignitas will prevail through every single hurdle that FlyQuest's thrown at them at this series. But it is Dignitas that will be advancing in the upper bracket with the most incredible game we've seen this season.
The David Dragon Dip is real, man. He's coming back again and again. Insanity clutching up in another bracket. Oh my god, we were asking whether or not he's going to be able to perform in these playoffs. He hasn't been looking great in the past couple of weeks, but today he stands tall. The big carry for his team this time around. They buy time for him to scale, and it's David Insanity Chal once again coming up big, moving them to another round in the upper bracket.
I'm just going to say, for the next team that goes up against Dignitas, Aurelion Sol's got to be banned, man. This champion is so insane. Like, the later the game goes on, I mean, Dignitas are just like, guys, we're fine. We're
chilling.
We're chilling. The longer this game goes, the better it is for us. So, you know, we don't need to rush this game anytime soon. But we need to catch our breath. I think everyone in the audience has already left to, you know, catch their breath as well. So we're going to be taking a break. When we come back, it is going to be Cubby and Dignitas for our Verizon post-game interview.
Hello and welcome back to the Verizon postgame interview. I'm joined once again by Diamond. Diamond, I know we had you last week, but I figured, you just took down your old Oregon FlyQuest. Might as well get you back in here. What are your thoughts? 2-1 win, fresh out the gate, crazy game. What's going through your head right now?
No Diamond, no PG. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, that's fun. I got to go corporate here and say it's LCS Challengers is the playoff bracket now, but I respect that. I still get, what you're picking up.
It sounds a bit better like that.
There. Yeah, I'm sorry. I got to go corporate, man. I can't be as cool as you. But hey, hell of a win. Now, I got to say, you guys went down 0-1. I know there's like a running joke because of all the draws you wrapped up your season with that, there is a game 2 buff for you guys. What kind of happened after game 1? Because not only did it feel like you guys were buffed up, but also a pretty big change of strategy in how you guys were approaching FlyQuest.
In first game, we played like a pretty hard to play comp. I think like we played like range bot lane with Kaylin, like need to execute really well. And I think like after game 1, like we were in a really bad position, and like I felt like my team's kind of a bit nervous because we were not taking all the timers that we had, like we're taking the vision. So I was like, this dog is gonna pick a fucking support, like a melee support, just pick me a melee support and I'll shit on him, That's what I was thinking. So make the game easier for the boys and it's just free win. So.
Yeah, well, Thresh buff's pretty damn good, especially the front to back meta. You get that hook back so fast. I know the ASOL is the big thing that, fans in the chat are probably talking about. I don't really want to talk about the fact that the E takes up like an entire lane and then you just drop, what'd you say, like turbo nukes on the enemy team's mothers, something like that? Yeah, something like that. But Thresh, a champion that you've historically been really good at. What's it like with him coming back in the meta? How's that change things up in the bot lane?
It feels good. It's when I came out, in academy, I was before NACL, operation, and I was playing. I was a Thresh player, Thresh Rakan, all those. That was my thing. Like all the hook champs, Thresh Rakan, Pike, and I had I think 80% win rate on him in academy before I played with him in LCS. I think that afterwards, but there was a reason why it was banned for 2 years straight against me. So I'm happy it's back.
Yeah, good to be back. I know the hooks were pretty tough there. It really helped you guys get back into the game, especially putting up that base defense, as you guys played some Balloons tower defense there with the ASOL.
Defense of the Ancients.
Yeah, it was needed at some point in the game, but you guys were put in a tough spot because Yuji set up quite the tent in bot. So what was that like early on, especially in that game 3? Because it did set you guys pretty far behind.
I think I tilted them too much in chat. They just kept going bot lane trying to attack me, but for me it doesn't affect me. You can go bot as much as you want. Your bot still will lose and it won't carry. So that's why I was typing in the chat the whole game. I hope your bot carries, UG. Good job. Keep going bot.
Yeah, all right. So on top of that, I know that you guys like the chat banner over there at Dignitas, and of course you got some friends over at FlyQuest. What was the best all chat you had today? What was the best thing you dropped?
I think it's the first one. Before the first game, I said in the pregame lobby chat, I'm gonna send you back to. I'm gonna kick you out of academy win some, so you can go back and save your main team. That was one of the first one. And there was a bunch of other ones that was free. It was funny. To be honest, I don't hate any of the players on their team. Even not Winston either. It's just for.
No, it's you got a good laugh out of me. So I'm sure the FlyQuest. I'm sure they had some good responses hopefully for you, especially knowing those guys.
No, they were just taking it. I could see in their gameplay though that was affecting them a bit, so it was good.
Well, that's all in good fun, whatever it takes to find the dubs. Now, of course, you guys did find the dub. You guys secure a top 5-6 position in PG, and you have a best of 5 in front of you up against C9 to see who makes top 4. Top 2 seeds, was that the opponent you were expecting to face, and what's it like going into them? Any expectations you have for next week?
Yeah, C9 I think is the only other good team in Challenger. I think the other teams, to be fair, FlyQuest I think played really well today. I think we played really bad. But I think that's sort of thing is that if we can translate our scrims to a stage again, because I think when we were winning a lot before, it was really straightforward how we were winning. It's because me and Tom were just better than everyone. But right now, me and Spawn I think are still a really good bot lane, but we're not super far ahead as we were as me and Tomo were basically. So now we have to actually learn how to play the game together better and play the map better, and that's why we took a step back. And also we're all sick, we lost power. There was so many things that happened in a row that kind of made a slump. But I think we're just getting back to how strong we actually are and showing it right now.
Yeah, well, hey, a win like that in that best of 3, that's one way to help get yourself out of the slump. You got some time off now. You get to go prep for your next best of series against C9. Best of luck.
How long ago is it?
I think, I don't know if you got a week or 2 weeks, man. You got a while.
I don't know. I don't know anymore. I just know we had 2 matches almost back to back, and then there's if we had to play 3 days on the new patch, it was kind of crazy. But we're out there.
Well, you get a nice break after the day. Any fun plans afterwards? Gonna go get some team food, anything like that?
Well, we're probably gonna go eat some food, yeah. And I just finished One Piece, so that's why I turbo stomped the enemy team today, so I went gear 5. I literally just caught up with the Mango just now. I went gear 5, Nico Sun God against like these noobs of Doom, and it was free win. So.
I don't know what else to say after that, Diamond. Anything else you want to add? Any shouts you want to give?
Shout out to my team, as per usual. Shout out to my parents that are watching it always. Shout out to they don't even understand what I'm saying because they only speak French. But shout out to my parents and shout out to our team. Pull up through. The first game was we're pretty nervous, but we pull up. Shout out to FlyQuest. Shout out to everyone at FlyQuest. I had a great time there. I just love the banner. That's all. And thank you for having me.
No, we love the banner too, Diamond. It was good to have you up here. Congrats on the win, man. No, it means a lot for you to, move forward in the tournament, take down some friends over there at FlyQuest. Best of luck when you go up against C9. Guys, we'll be right back in a few minutes. We got to prep for 100 Thieves versus TSM Challengers. Don't go anywhere.